Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast. Tonight, we're going to go over some Liga MX results. We have a leaked new escudo for the Mexican national team. We have JJ Mack prematurely getting his loan terminated, potentially. And then Puebla might be sold and relocated. This and much, much more. But before I go any further, let me welcome Joel. Joel, how are we doing tonight?
It's been a good week.
Awesome. We currently have a double jornada going on right now, so some results are already there. Right now, currently, we have Atlas and Cruz Azul tied 0-0. Everybody wearing pink because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Chivas unveiled a pink jersey as well, so if you want to support the team, go get that because we need the money, right?
They certainly do, Jaime. They still haven't found a coach.
Yeah, it was a pretty uneventful weekend. Every single match except the Chivas match, there was just one goal victories or one goal draws. Chivas beat Toluca 2-0 on Sunday convincingly. Chino Huerta and Ronaldo Cisneros. It was funny because, Mo Salah had a really good weekend, and everybody was sort of photoshopping Chino Huerta because they had like the same hairdo.
Yeah, Chivas finally get a win under Leaño, but I think the spotlight should be on Ame. If I'm not mistaken, they are top of the league, top of the table.
Absolutely. It's one of those tough things to see as a Chivas fan, but it's I said in the last podcast, this is their league to win. They're in first place, and with a significant gap between first and second. As of right now, it's an 8-point gap. Obviously, results pending, but yeah, they beat San Luis on Saturday, and then today they beat Santos 2-1 thanks to Sebastián Córdoba scored a late goal to give them the lead. And Solari, man, he's the real deal Holyfield.
Completely agree with you on theirs to win. Last season they were one of the favorites. They sort of shit the bed with their party there. Everything went south.
Yeah.
They celebrated ahead of time. And so going into this season, there's been all these changes, and that's a lot of times what wins you championships is consistency. And so the changes we've seen, both of the Norteño clubs with new coaches, Tigres with Piojo, he's still trying to implement his system in there. And then Aguirre with Monterrey, and he's getting a lot of flack. They lost to Querétaro, and so fans are very critical. They're beginning to turn on him, saying how it's kind of funny because of the jokes about they're not really grandes, and that's right now the criticism that Aguirre's never done well at big clubs.
Interesting.
And so there's some of that. And wait, who am I missing? Oh, Leon as well, new coach, right?
That's right.
They've sort of been, but the one thing where it's like if they were to meet up with Ame, I would say Ame's like the younger squad. Leon has a couple dudes. Some of their key players are up there in age, like Montes. And that leaves Cruz Azul, and Campeonitis is usually, it's not that often that teams will win the double. So, yeah, I said at this point, Ame should be favorites to take the league.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Again, they've just been playing really well. They've been the most consistent team this season, and last season too. So, I mean, apart from Cruz Azul, and they finally got the job done last season, but it's just one of those things. It's tough to it's tough to see as a Chivas fan, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. They're getting the job done. We'll see what happens in Liga because Liga is unpredictable. You can go undefeated. You can win 18 games in a row, and then you get knocked down the first round of Liga. So there's no guarantee. But obviously, if you're looking at these results, they're starting to build that gap between first and second, because that's one of the things that we've both done on the show. We've criticized how it's really like a 3 or 4 point difference from like 12th place to like fourth place. So
Yeah,
it's
it is.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like once you remove America from the pack, the rest of the league table is pretty tight. I mean, Atlas are in second place with 23 points. And then you look at Chivas with 17 points in 10th place. I mean, that's not much of a gap there. That's only six points. That's only 2 wins. You could have a really bad outing, a double jornada, you lose both matches, and then another team can just leapfrog you just like that in a blink in the middle of a week. So it's one of those things. The rest of the pack is very tight.
Yeah, and we criticize it, but at the same time, it's what makes the Liga exciting.
I know it really is. It's
But if I could choose, I would go with no Liguilla.
Yeah, I mean, we need to create some sort of consistency, right? As a nation, not just league based, but yeah, if you are to reinforce the idea that you have to be consistent for not just 18 games but 36 games or 34 games, I think the
Yeah,
the bigger idea is that consistency and success is rewarded instead of going in there passing
uh,
with because all right, when I was in high school, you could pass, you could consider passing with the D plus. And
yeah,
for me opening from 8 to 12, I mean, that's like passing with the D plus. So I get it. COVID happened, and they're trying to give everybody some sort of like a cushion there. But I mean, the 12 spots, man, it's ridiculous.
I agree. No, I agree completely with what you said. The whole rewarding the consistency, I do feel that changes the mindset of everything, not just the league, coaches, players, and whatnot. Because you have to you have to play good for a longer period of time, as opposed to just showing up every now and then, which is something that we will see with like trophies. It was good enough to keep getting renewed. Um, damn, I lost my. I had a point. I lost it. It just disappeared. Um, no, but does it? And then the thing with Liguilla is that it's just two games, you know,
Uh-huh.
and so that makes it, that just makes it so one slip up that could cost you the whole season.
Yeah, that's the sort of the double-edged sword there. What good is going on a 18 game winning streak only to get eliminated in over the course of two legs? And that has happened before. Um
And Jaime, I remember when I think this was the last Liguilla final where they had the away goal rule,
that's
and I
correct.
remember, and no, I haven't said which one. um, unless I'm thinking it wrong, but
No, yeah,
it was the
America complained cuz they got eliminated because of that last
but they
season.
got eliminated like on what, semis?
I believe so, yeah.
No, but they took it away for the final. I don't know if they took it away for all games.
Well, the finals never
They
been that way. Yeah, the finals always been
It
like,
has been.
yeah, clean cut.
No, it had. No, it did have.
Nah, if it drew the final, like a final, if it was like
No,
tied
Jaime.
tied in
No,
global,
no.
if it was
It
tied in
was
global, they
it.
went to penalties, dog. It was never like an away goal.
No, I don't think they went to penalties because I remember
Uh
Celaya with Butragueño. I used to love watching that team.
huh.
They had Butragueño. They had this Brazilian named Tiva. Uh, they had a couple other guys. Those are the ones I remember the most. But I love watching Butragueño play. And they made the final against Necaxa. And it was, I remember, I think 1-1 at the Celaya Stadium.
Oh
And then I
wow.
think it was 0-0 with Necaxa. And Necaxa took it. And I don't remember penalties.
I don't know, man. As far as I can remember, it's always been in the final. It's like there's no restriction. It's like you go to overtime if it's tied on aggregate.
Yeah, and so I remember, I remember that. And yeah, it was 95, 96. I'm Wikipedia now, so memory tends to lie sometimes, but
So
I
yeah.
do remember it. No, that after that after like that final, they said, okay, we're getting rid of for at least for the final.
Mm,
Here it is. See 1-1 at the Estadio Miguel Alemán and 0-0 at the Azteca Stadium, and it says Necaxa won on away goals.
that's weird. What year was
And
this?
I was 95, 96.
Oh, was this before Torneos Cortos?
Were you even born?
No, no, no. I was born in 1990, so I mean,
All right, you were
yeah,
five, dude. You
it
were
might have been
watching
before
like I
because I
don't know
started
what
watching Liga
tel-
MX in '96.
Teletubbies. you
I
you
was
went
always
from Teletubbies to Liga MX.
nah. You tripping, dog? I was always the one kid like at the parties and stuff. It'd be all the old
Tinky
man.
Winky.
It'd be all the old men just like drinking beer, smoking
Uh,
cigarettes, and I'd be the one kid like with them watching TV, watching the game and stuff, while all the other
that
kids
was
were
me,
like,
dude. You just described me. Uh, Same thing happened to me, especially because of the '94 World Cup. And I know my friends were into soccer. They were all, Raiders, like American football,
oh,
basketball.
I see.
And the only people that I would see watching it was some of these old dudes. One was a friend of the dad of my friend and his buddies that would all hang out and watch the games. And I would always, uh, they were cool, so I would just end up staying right there watching the game with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I was hanging out now with a bunch of old dudes. So
Yes.
yeah, no. So there we have it, dude. They got rid of it. Um, it did have playoffs. This one had playoffs. I forgot what season was the last one.
Mm.
Torneo corto, but there was playoffs.
I know '96 because I want to say the first time they did that, it was either Santos or Pachuca won that one. The the first torneo corto. Yeah, it was one of those teams. I looked it up. So America got second place. They were right behind Cruz Azul with 38 points. Cruz Azul had 41. And then in the quarterfinals, they end up losing to Pachuca 3-1 on the road. And then at home, they win 4-2. But because Pachuca scored 2 away goals, they won on away goals. And obviously, America got mad at that because Pachuca were an 8th place team. So, I mean, they had no business. I mean, we're talking about they had 23 points in regular season. That's a 15-point gap. And they were able to defeat America over the course of 2 legs. This was just last season. So they changed the rule after that. So this season, if the Liga, if the game ends in a draw, it's going to go to the higher seeded team.
As it should,
As it should.
as it
Yeah.
should,
You got to have
because
some sort of advantage for, like there's got to be some benefit to finishing higher in the table, not just home
yeah,
field
it should be
advantage.
rewarded. It should be rewarded more, and make teams want to finish.
At the same time, if you park the bus, I think that was the whole idea, right? Is to not park the bus.
Yeah, that was the idea, and it's all geared toward entertainment. Let's just put something exciting out there, like sort of like basketball with some of the rules they made, so that it be more attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we had some scores. Again, pretty uneventful weekend. A lot of these matches were just a one goal victory. Querétaro Tijuana tied 1-1. Puebla beat Necaxa 1-0. Mazatlán beat Atlas 1-0. León beat Monterrey 1-0. América beat San Luis 1-0. Pachuca Santos tied 1-1. Cruz Azul and Tigres tied 1-1. Pumas and Juarez. Pumas actually got the victory over Juarez 1-0. And then, Chivas on Sunday 2-0 against Toluca. There's been some noise about Puebla that they're broke and that they're going to sell the team and they're going to, relocate the franchise. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it happened with Morelia. They got
No,
relocated up.
not surprised. We've been seeing this with a lot of teams, so not really surprised about Puebla. It you know it's one of the reasons that one of the main reasons why we have the no relegation at Liga MX, because they're trying to get investors to come in and help some of these teams, and investors aren't going to want to do it if you're not going to put all this money and then next season your team is playing in second division, and it just everything was just devalued. So that's I know fans complaining, but yeah, it's not your money. It's not costing you anything, and it's a lot of money. It's like a really expensive hobby. um, so it's like baseball cards in the 90s. You think you're gonna end up with some collectibles, and then they all ended up being trash. It was just uh, but yeah, no, it's a long list. It's a long list of teams. Juarez, I mean not Juarez, Jaguares.
Yeah.
Jaguares is Veracruz. Veracruz has been in the list a lot of times. Um, they're like that meme where the Simpsons meme where Mo kicks out Barney,
Oh, yeah. And
and
he
then he's standing
turns
he's
around. He's
standing
like,
right behind.
yeah.
That's Veracruz. Every time they get like booted off, or somehow they find a way, but then they're right back out. Uh, but yeah, it's a long list. Lobos Buap, just so many teams. Uh, Eventually, what we might see is more, what do you call it, multipropiedad. It could be a possibility. You have Orlegi with two teams, Grupo Pachuca, two teams. So you don't know if, which it was more common way back, way back when there was, uh, well, it was like second division was mainly teams owned by the first division teams.
Yeah. They were
So
like
when their
a
teams went
subsidy.
up,
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know if we'll see something like that. I'm guessing. I'm guessing FMF Liga MX wants to avoid it. Want to have pretty much the same companies competing.
Yeah. So I'm reading the article. It says that in the last couple of months, there's been little support and that there's already interest in a group uh, in the north of Mexico. So a team near the border that could potentially buy the franchise. And the price tag is $35 million, which I mean that's like chump change.
Damn.
I would buy the team, man. If I had the money, I would buy the team. Are you kidding me?
And then, but border. You know what's the good thing of being on the border, Jaime?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What is it? What is it?
Well, I mean, you can get people
Let's see,
coming.
we're on the same page.
Well,
Oh man, Liga MX,
you.
MLS.
Oh yeah, that too. I mean, I look at like Juarez, for example. Like you could you can live in Texas and go to a Juarez game, and
Do
then
people? But Juarez isn't it like cartel land? I don't think. I think people want to
they're
go
they're
there.
working on a stadium that will have an entrance on the U.S. border, so you can like enter through
Oh
the
damn!
yeah, you can enter like
They're gonna have ICE agents inside the
I know,
stadium, or
right? Yeah, they had proposed like an idea, like
like,
something like that, where it's like half the stadiums like in the U.S. and half the stadiums in Mexico. But I mean, for 35 million, I mean, and the real tragedy about this is Puebla's like, they got a lot of history and they have a really nice stadium, World Cup stadium. I mean, that's a stadium that could be used in 2026.
no. Well, it was not could be because I think they already announced the stadiums. It's only like four stadiums, I think. Um, I think Azteca, uh, the OmniLife, and then the two Monterrey. You know, well, I don't know Tigres if they have their stadium.
I think it's gonna be just
Um,
the Rayados stadium.
yeah. So I mean, but I think with Puebla, it seems like I don't know. Maybe the fans just abandoned the team. But I mean, it's a team poorly managed for many years, so I can't blame the fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were founded in 1944, 77 years ago. Um, do they just have like the one title? Oh, twice. They won it in 82, 83, and then in 89. Was Vucetic the coach?
I don't know about 89. I think La Puente, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh, I'll look it up. But let me see. Honors. It was Leon. I mixed it up. Yeah, might have been.
Hold on, I'm asking Google. um,
Puebla.
Here it is, Puebla. He won it in 82, 83, 89, 90.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who the coach was.
It was La Puente.
Was it?
Yeah, man. It's like, Jaime, are you listening to me?
No, I heard you
Said
say
his name like 3 times.
I heard you said
Huh?
it, but I wasn't sure if that was, if you were just like guessing or. Oh, I didn't know
No.
that.
Well, I was guessing at first, but I wasn't because I wasn't sure. I knew he had won one.
Oh
I
wow.
wasn't, and then he won another one with Necaxa, and then another one with America.
So he was the coach for both those times. No shit.
Yep.
Dang, how old is this guy? 77. Man.
Yeah, he was out there, and he played with the selección. He was there in '74 when they got eliminated. In I think it was in Haiti, however you pronounce it. And I saw a picture, man. Dude he had like the Hulk Hogan haircut. He was like pelon with like the mullet in the back.
He was pretty young when he won. He was 38.
Yep. My Chepo though beat him in age. Uh, but Chepo did. He worked under La Puente
Oh.
when he was at America. He was like his student, his disciple. But yeah, no, La Puente left for school, man. He doesn't get much credit. It's kind of sad, and you see all Mexican fans screaming themselves every time some RG comes in. But you could go down the list of some of these coaches, and they've had really good careers. But I don't know, man. Even the Mexico owners, they're like they want you know something from abroad. It's like getting an import car.
I'm doing the math, Joel. I think Chepo was older than Manuel Lapente when he won his first title.
No, man. He
Because he won it with
when he
Chivas in
won, he was
2006, but he was born in 1965. So that puts him at 41, dog. La Puente was 38.
Hold on, look, man. That's the good thing about Google. Okay, well, at least we're doing this. We're
So I think what Wikipedia says is he was the youngest coach to win a championship in the last decade, but
in the last decade.
yeah, but not of all time.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I also didn't know that Chepo won a title with Chivas and Necaxa the next year as a player. What a
As a player, yeah,
wh-
man, and he played in Spain.
what a what a dirty bastard. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's
Nah, man, the De La Torres and the family, if because it's a lot of them,
they run deep.
brothers, cousins. Dude, in Chivas, dude, you really can't. Chivas success, man, it has their fingerprints. Going all the way back to Campeonísimo, El
Wow.
Inge de la Torre was one of the, right there when you look. I think that family has been involved in 8 campeonatos out of all the Chivas
That's
has
impressive.
as coach and players. Yeah, it is. And I would say outside of Guadalajara, they get hate. But you go to the city and, De La Torres is just, family that's been tied to the
Yeah.
club for years.
You think it's just because of the, la selección, shitting the bed?
It's a selección and just the fans that grew up here not knowing
Yeah.
because it's way different. Like if you've been to Guadalajara, like you could see how big like the rivalry is with Atlas. You don't really care for it if you grew up in the US, but if you're in Mex,
It's a big deal.
you could yeah, you could see how big. You could see like taxistas, like dudes won't take a taxi if it has like an Atlas uh, thing hanging on the thing. It used to be like that. I don't know if it's still to that extent, you know.
I remember the last time I was in Guadalajara, we got a taxi ride and we were just leaving the Estadio Jalisco, and the guy that picked us up was he was ranting about Leones Negros because it was back when they were still in the first division, but
Uh,
but they were struggling, and he knew that they were gonna get relegated, so he was just like he was basically just venting to us about that situation. But yeah, I don't really have any like animosity towards Leones Negros. I honestly thought they were a cool. They had a cool jersey and some pretty cool stuff. But
it kind of reminds me of hot dog on a stick,
oh, like
but
the
it is
uniform.
cool. The stripes, yeah, with the colors. But I just want like a lemonade when I see them playing. I can see them turning it in real time. But
Yeah,
no, I agree, man. And at one point, in Liga MX, you had Chivas, Atlas,
Tecos.
Tecos, and Leones Negros
Yeah, he had 4 teams.
at the same time. And I don't know, man. I think they could have probably tried to done more to play off against each other and have rivalries
Yeah,
because I think it's one of the big cities where like the F is the other huge one because they already have what they should have. I think right now is just what America Cruz Azul Pumas. You
and
know,
you can kind of count Toluca, right? Because they're not too far.
yeah, but I think there should be more clubs just in those two cities,
Yeah,
and then you could have like massive rivalries where it's a clásico every other week. It's kind of what you see a lot in like England and Argentina, and you see the rivalries a lot of times because it's crosstown rivalry.
yeah. Sometimes it's
You know,
literally
you're,
like a stone's throw away.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was this guy from Argentina, and he was just comparing the best stadiums in Mexico versus the best stadiums in Argentina. And I mean, this guy was just blown away with the stadiums that we had here. He showed like La Bombonera, and then he showed like Estadio like Chivas, and he was just like, "Wow, this is like a world class stadium." And then
Yeah,
he did a few more stadiums from Argentina, but they're all old and outdated.
they, man, I went to Huracan because I've been to Argentina twice, and I stayed a couple months. And where I was staying, it was right there at the Huracan, at the Huracan neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
So the team, and that's where the first time I went. That's Turco was coach, or he had just.
Oh, really?
I
Wow.
I think he had just left because I think he was only there for like, if memory serves, he might have just been there for a week or two, or had just left, but he had gone to Tijuana. He had gone to Tijuana, but it was like I was like 4 blocks away from the Huracan Stadium, and yeah, man, it was a dump. It's all like falling down. It looks old. It looks like from the 50s,
Was
like
this
that kind of
2013?
kind of aesthetic. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Was he there? Was he in?
Yeah, it says he coached Tijuana from 2011 to 2013, and then he went to Huracan and then America.
Okay, so there you go. I think so. I think I got it wrong. He returned, and he had to quit because he had like shit results.
Oh.
So he quit. He didn't stay. It's not like in Max where you keep collecting a check. It'll be more expensive because the fans will show up at your house to fucking try to burn it down. So they're like, I better cut my losses, They're
Yeah.
like,
They don't play out
fucking
there,
right
man.
here. No. So yeah,
Yo,
that
I'm looking up these seats, man. They look old. Wow.
Huracan.
Yeah.
I have a video. I'm gonna send it to you that I took from inside the stadium,
Oh, okay.
and it was like in the summer, and they're like hosting people because it was really hot, and so like the
Oh,
hinchas that are jumping
wow.
up and down and singing, they're like just hosting them with like fire hose. They're just wetting them.
Not even to like calm them down, just to cool them off.
It was to cool them off, yeah, because it wasn't full pressure. It
Oh,
wasn't full pressure,
wow.
and then it was like at an angle, so it could like, you know. But I'll send it to you. I took some YouTube videos, and
Oh,
then
that's
maybe
interesting.
we could post them maybe on somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing it because I would go to games every now and then. Um, like the neighbors' kids, they were like in the juveniles, and so if you were in the juveniles, they give you like a credencial,
Mhm.
and you could go to the games for free.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see that out here.
So one of the kids, he's like, "Let's go. I'll use my little brother's, and you could use mine." And I
Nice.
was like, "Dude, we don't even look alike, man." That dude was dark. I mean,
He's like it's like that one meme, it's like I am 13.
this
Yeah.
dude looked like Ludueña, and I'm
Oh,
looking over here like
Achita.
Juan Camané. We're just complete opposites, man. I'm looking like Piruris, with that with that funky hair, and this dude's and obviously way older, but
Yeah.
he's like, dude, just come in. And I was like, well, fuck it. What are they gonna do? Just kick me out? I'll
Yeah.
just go to the next gate and get a ticket or something. And yeah, dude, the gate people didn't give a shit. As long as it would scan, because you would like scan it on the turnstile, you could go in. And I worked a couple times, but then I guess he stopped going, or they stopped going. I don't know what happened,
Mm.
and it didn't like that. They told me, hey, you can't come in, but there was some dude right there. He's like, hey, I'm a miembro, let him in, and they just said pass. I was like, hey, this was cool. I just nodded my head at the dude and left. But yeah, and dude, I'm not gonna lie, man, the games were boring.
But they're a first division team, right? I mean,
No, they were in second when I went.
oh.
I was watching second division.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
They were hella boring games, dude. I was like, these games suck. I just went just to see, just to kind of observe.
Mhm.
And you could tell it was like a thing for like, because there was people from the neighborhood, and I would see like there was like a space like behind the porteria. There was like the last seat. So from the last seat to like the barrier for where the porteria is, it was like a pretty big space, and there was always like little kids playing soccer right there. They weren't even watching the game. They're playing their own game, like in the stadium. It's like let's go to the stadium to play soccer, like not even to watch. But yeah, it was trippy, man.
There's
All right,
a lot of
we're going.
teams in the Argentinian league.
Yeah, they went up to 30 because
What?
yeah, they went up to 30 a couple years back.
I'm counting 26, man. That's crazy.
26. I thought they went. I don't know if they cut it.
They might have.
Yeah, yeah, it was. That's the negocio for a lot of those teams, and
Jeez.
their economy has been pretty bad. So it's like try to get more players up here and help the team sell.
That is quite eye-opening there. I remember my experience in Europe, you had to be a member to like buy tickets, and me being, from the States, it was kind of hard, but you just go to the pubs and you ask around, and then some of the times you could just go straight to the box and just buy a ticket. That happened to me a few times, but I tried to watch a Napoli game, and it was a midweek game, so it wasn't too busy. And yeah, somebody like was selling their ticket for like 50 euros, and I bought it. And they had to write my name on the ticket because it was like yeah, like, again, you had to be like a member and stuff. So it was pretty serious, man. Like
Oh, to show that they sold it to you.
yeah, and they had to show my passport and everything. Like yeah, it was pretty official. I was like, damn. But
Damn.
yeah, it was. Ironically though, the easiest games to get tickets for were Champions League. Yeah. I,
Well, I'm not that surprised because I know a lot of people. That's how they make money. They'll have and they sell. They'll have like the membership, and then they just buy tickets to resell them.
yeah, I would just go on Via Gogo. It's like their version of StubHub. And, yeah, I could just buy the ticket, like, right from my phone, and it was no problem, and, I was like, "Wow, that was actually
'Cause,
pretty easy." I thought it was gonna be harder to get
yeah,
into, Champions League.
I remember some years back. I don't know if it was Real or Barca, one of those two, but they were trying to like cut down on that and saying that if you sold, like they were trying to put a limit how many of your tickets you could sell,
Oh,
because
really?
then it's like you're not a real miembro.
Oh, I see, I see.
You're just using this to make money. You're not even watching the games.
Yeah, I'm on the website right now, like, PSG, Champions League. Yeah, it's like you can literally just buy a ticket. And it must Messi's there now, so I'm sure the price has gone up, but
Yeah, like triple. Yeah,
yeah.
I had the same mistake because I thought you could just go to box office.
Mhm.
You could just go into the box office. So
Yeah.
I was trying to get into Boca Juniors versus Argentinos Juniors. It was at
Oh.
the Argentinos Junior Stadium, the Maradona Stadium. And it was like in a neighborhood, like the old baseball stadiums. They're just like, what you think it's Wrigley Field. You're just walking,
Uh-huh.
and then the stadium, you're just going through and then that's kind of how that stadium was. And a lot of the streets were blocked off, with security, like cops and horses and stuff. And they straight out told, like, you had to show your ticket so the police could let you pass. And he just told me, like, dude, the scalpers are there, just get a ticket. So I bought one because I was like, I don't know where I'm at. There's no way if I go around, I'm gonna find whatever entrance. So I just bought it from this. It was, I didn't know, but I was like in the Boca area
Uh-huh.
where like they're hooligans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Barra Brava. So I was like, oh, dude, I better like, cause what they do a lot of times, if you're in the section, they'll jack you, man,
Oh
because they'll
wow.
start jumping up and down. And while everyone's jumping up and down, they're just putting their hands in your pockets and taking your shit. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight with the whole,
Yeah.
over 50 dudes right there. So I was like, damn, I, what I do. Um, but yeah, no, I was able to get in.
Yeah, so what happened was I bought a ticket to go see Manchester United, and it was very expensive. It was like 200 bucks. And I show up to the Old Trafford and I'm like, "Hey, like I don't know where I'm sitting." And then I show them my ticket and they're like, "Come with me." And I was like, "Ah, shit. Like here we go, man. Like I got busted. Like somebody sold me like a fake ticket or whatever." And security escorts me to an elevator. I'm like, "What is going on?" I hop in the elevator and they take me to like this super fancy like private room, and I open the door and there's all these like rich people and they're all sitting at a dining table, all just eating like 5 course meals, like drinking the champagne, and they're like, "Here you go, sir. Here's your seat." And I'm like, "What the
Oh
fuck?"
shit!
Yeah, it was a hospitality ticket. So it was yeah, you had like a show before the game. Like there was like a private dinner and like all you can eat, and then like there was like a magician that did like magic tricks for us. They gave us like
What the fuck, dude?
they gave us the
What?
starting dude, they gave us the starting lineup like on iPads and stuff, and like it was I was like, "What the hell?" And then they're like, "Okay, the game's about to start. Like, here you go." And then they
I
walk us to
I
our
think after the 5 course meal and the magician, I'm ready to call it a night, Jaime. I'll probably be like too drunk to even watch the game.
Yeah. I was like, when can we like go to the actual like, seats or whatever?" And yeah,
You're there to experience the game, and it's everything but the game.
I know, man. And I didn't know, like, I did not know that. So, uh, the seats weren't that great. I'll be honest. Like, you're like basically like on the very, very like back, but it was
Man,
still an
so
incredible
imagine,
experience.
imagine what do the guys in the best seats get, dude?
Yeah.
There's some like strippers. What do you get for
I
the
was,
for
I
the
was,
VIP, man?
I was blown away, man. I was blown away with that kind of like experience. I'm like, damn, this is like, I didn't just go to like the first like like my dream to go to Old Trafford, and like I did it like the baller way without even doing it intentionally. Yeah, it was crazy. So bringing it back to planet Earth, aka Mexico, there's been some rumors about Jota Macias. I guess Chivas are unhappy with his lack of playing time. Getafe is off to a terrible start. They sacked their coach, and they're potentially thinking about terminating his loan so he can rejoin Chivas and help us out. What do you think about that, Joel? Is that would you agree or
Yeah,
disagree?
no, there's nothing to agree or disagree. I mean, it's just the luck of the draw. It happens a lot with a lot of players. Some coach brings you, the next coach probably already has some other players in mind. So especially if they have promoters tied to them, where it's like, okay, bring in this guy or whatever. So that it's not always because you suck. It's just business. There's money in that, and we saw it with Raul. With his super agent, he's the one that put the coach in Wolves, and he took him the player because he was, well, he took him a lot of players, but that's just how it works. So if whatever coach comes in has like a different promoter or what agent or whatnot, they're gonna try to bring in their people. So yeah, if and a strikers is usually like one of the main positions. So I think it, we always go to he sucked, but it's not always like because of that. You see the number of like Argentines and Brazilians that go to Europe and then they're there for a season or two and then return. It's a big list. and so, but I think in Mex, because we don't see that many players go abroad, and every time someone comes back, right away, fracaso or he sucked or not good enough. And I don't agree with that.
I'm just gonna say I called it. If you go on Google and type in Getafe JJ Mac, like not his full name, but if you type in JJ Mac, MAC, the first thing that pops up, I posted this on Reddit. It said, "I don't trust Getafe," and that's what I called it 4 months ago. Like, look, I don't trust this deal. It's a loan. They're gonna.
Yeah,
There's
and
no.
that's yeah,
It's like it's like that has everything to show their intentions. It's like, look, we don't really like, we want you to go to Europe, and we'll give you the shot that you've wanted, but it's a loan. There's no guarantee that they have no reason to start you because they didn't invest like a full transfer on you. And
yeah.
when you also Google that, it has our Cantina MX podcast episode that we talked about all this stuff. So it's like
Oh,
we're kind of like the source, man. We're kind of the source about this topic. But at least for me, like, look, like that's just a very series of unfortunate events. Like, nobody knew that the coach was going to get fired. Nobody thought that Getafe was going to be in dead last with like 2 points. Like, this is just like the worst case scenario that could have happened to his career. And I don't agree with his decision to omit or snub La Selección, not going to the Olympics so he could go and get his chance in Europe. Like, it's kind of like karma, man. Like, no player is bigger than the country, man. It's like, it should be an honor and a privilege to represent Mexico. And say you went to the Olympics, Mexico got bronze. Like, that would have given you that much more exposure, and you probably would have gotten a better offer than a loan from Getafe. That's all I'm saying.
no, I agree with you. I mean, if it's a decision he had to make, and it didn't work out. If it would have gone the other way, people would have said, he did what was right. But yeah, it ended up backfiring on him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in December. Who knows, if things get worse. I think that they just have to start playing him. I mean, why would you, if things aren't going well and he hasn't had a real opportunity to shine, like, just give him the opportunity to do something. But I don't know what the situation looks like there in Spain. But I really do think it's unfortunate. Talking about promoters, I don't know why this resurfaced, but there's an article in regards to Adolfo Bautista Bofo and how they what was it? They threatened him to like pay money so he could get on the World Cup roster in 2010.
Yeah, he says a promoter was taxing him. He was like, if you don't, no, he said he would kick him out of the selección if he didn't. If
Oh,
he didn't
wow.
pay up.
3 million
And
pesos.
how much would that be? Like what, $50? No, but I mean, he had come out on TV, but he never had like receipts.
Yeah, but
Hello?
no, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to have proof. It's not as just your word against the other guy's word,
Uh-huh.
So, because then he's saying FMF didn't do anything about it. I don't remember him saying anything back then. So it was like much later when he made those claims. I mean, he shouldn't have made them right away. But he said that, yeah, that dude was on his ass since he was like playing. And I mean, it could be two things. Someone's trying to hustle him, or it could be truth. But this other thing, no other player stepped up to say, yeah, this goes on.
Mm. Well, isn't
You
wouldn't
know?
wouldn't that jeopardize their career though? Because I feel it's like one of those unspoken things where, like, if you do like whistleblow, then you
But
get
I mean,
you.
but players that are no longer active
Oh, okay.
or even
Well,
involved
it
with
is
football.
Mexico, and people get murdered and stuff. So
Yeah, but a promoter's not. They're not gonna go to
Look at
that
what happened
extent.
to Cabañas.
Yeah, but that wasn't over. I think he was at America this past game.
Yeah, I saw a photo of him and
I saw.
Ochoa taking a photo together. I'm like, man, that guy was like an
Oh, he was a beast.
he
Yeah.
was a beast, man, and it's just like such an unfortunate thing that happened to him.
Yeah. He just was. He ran into some dude. There was like some. I don't know if he was like some type of cartel dude, but he was on. Because he's in a fancy bar, so it's to do with a lot of money. But some dude that's going into a fancy bar with heated, because that bar was not just like a fancy bar. It was like a bar where like kind of like celebrities go,
Mm-hmm.
like. So I mean, to get in there, so this dude had pool but to be carrying a strap, so some guy that was just involved in shit and I guess drunk and whatnot, and he got into it with Cabañas, and then he followed him to the bathroom and shot him in the back of the head. But yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think that was a promoter. He's like, you need to sign, you need to go back to Juarez.
I mean, there's always that fear, I mean, Pulido got kidnapped.
I thought that was fake. I always thought it was fake.
Who else got kidnapped? It was a coach. It's the
He said he kung fu fought his way out of the kidnappers. He broke free. Not only did he say that, uh, he didn't say it actually, because he was invited to go to some TV show, and it was his brother that went and
Mhm.
talked. I don't believe it, dude. I don't know. I think it was like a publicity stunt, and I think he probably didn't think it was going to get so much media exposure. Um, you're thinking about Ruben Omar Romano.
That's right.
And he was gone for like what, like 3 months or
He was gone
something?
for I thought he was dead, bro.
Longer? Yeah, everyone did, man. He was gone for quite a while, dude. He came back like Robin Williams in Jumanji.
What year
Todo
is it?
barbón. Todo barbón.
Didn't they also kidnap Jorge Campos' dad?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Could
I,
have been.
yeah, they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
Damn. Well, we could ask Google, but we're going off again. Anyway.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not surprised, like, about Bofo getting heckled or hassled into spending,
Yeah,
or it's
I
just
just don't think there's that. I don't. And I like Boffo, man. He was my favorite player for a long time.
same.
But I don't know, man. This dude, he just he just had like some type of attitude. He didn't make many friends, and it's kind of sad how he ended up. And then
Playing
he was
indoor
like different
soccer in Indianapolis or
in,
something,
in,
or
in
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, he became a dude that was like, because he would fight, he would throw hands with his teammates, and
Yep.
talk shit to the coaches and all that. So we got to the point where like, people didn't want to work with him, and yeah, you're right. He shouldn't have been playing like indoor and stuff like that. But you don't see anyone else speaking up, anyone like giving him, you know, backing him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I have a hard time believing it.
I know, like, in the past, Rafa Marquez has tried to like talk, right? Or like try to like start like a union or
He
something.
he did start it. He did start it.
And then coincidentally he gets
He got booted from Atlas, but
well, no, he got that
it's like
whole like his money was tied with like narcos and he's not allowed to come to the States anymore. It's like, was that a
oh
coincidence,
yeah,
or was that kind of
probably
just,
not.
it's like you do this and we'll do that, we'll kind of just throw your name in the mud.
Yeah, no, I do think that does happen. Uh, but then that whole players thing, it ended up being just like not fake. It just ended up being like useless.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't really done anything that you could pinpoint and say, all right, they sort of helped this guy to improve his contract or whatnot. There's sort of like almost non-existent. Dude, he's not even in Mex. He's off doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
supposed to be one of like the leaders of it, and then he's not even around.
Yeah. It's typical. So I want to talk about the hot topic that has been going around today, this whole day, circulating on Twitter and social media. Uh, Footy headlines. They're known for leaking basically all the jerseys that come out, and they leaked a Mexico jersey, burgundy. But what was most important was the badge. It's been redesigned. I believe we had talked about it before in episodes past, but
We
uh,
did.
it went from rumors to like this is basically like official. And how do you feel about this? Do you like it? Do you
Oh
hate
man, I
it?
hate it. No, I hate it, man. I don't know what committee approved it. It's nasty, dude. I wouldn't say nasty. It's just whack. It feels very amateur, like those people that just they do it on MS Paint. They're just like, you know, it it does. I don't know who they hired to do it, but it's just bad.
If I'm not,
I think fans are gonna hate it. They might have to eventually go back, because Mexico jerseys they would sell a lot, and something like that could.
yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those designs. It's kind of like when Juventus redesigned their badge, and everybody was talking about it and how ugly it is, and it gives people something to talk about. It's provocative. It gets the people going. It's like, but it was Carlos Eustace tweeted out, some more details about it and how they had registered this back in September, and that they had other alternative designs that they had submitted and registered. So at the end of the day, we might get a completely different badge, or we'll see
This
what
could be the
happens.
one that leaked. Yeah, this could be the one that leaked. Look, it looks like concept art. I think there's good stuff there for them to work. Just concept art, but as a final product, nah, it's not bad. I actually studied design and got to work with some really talented graphic designers. I
Oh
used to
yeah.
I used to do some stuff with this dude that he used to do like a lot of the he worked for the company and he got to do stuff for like Nacho Libre and the first Iron Man movie. That
Oh
was like
wow.
back then. And I would see how they, because I would just go hang out and watch how he did everything on the computer. And so, I would see like a lot of the stuff. So sometimes when I see designs, I could tell when something was just pieced together because you could buy like these packs, like there's like design packages,
Hmm.
like if you need to do a calavera,
Mm-hmm.
so it's gonna have like hundreds of calaveras already. And then you just pick the one you like and then you just alter it. So a lot of times when I see stuff, I could tell that it came from some pack. They didn't even. It's not
Wow.
like It's not like before. Like so, before you actually drew, you drew something by hand. They had to sketch it all out. Now they don't really have to do that. You could just. You need a snake. You don't have to draw it. You get that package and there's like thousands of snakes,
It's
and you
just like
find the
a
one you like.
it's like a template, huh?
Yeah, there you go. A bunch of templates of everything, dude. And I could always tell because it's what well, I mean with the designers that aren't that good, you could tell because they just sort of cut and pasted stuff, together. The real good ones they could use one, you could say, but then they will alter it.
Yeah, I'm like looking at it right now, and I'm just like, I just always felt the soccer ball was cheesy, and I wish they would have gotten rid of it.
It it does look cheesy. Even the whole thing, it just
And the
and then
eagle,
like
it's like,
his foot, cause yeah, there
yeah,
you go. So the so like the outer for those that haven't seen it, the outer batch is like similar to the current one,
mm-hmm,
which is like a circle within like a, I don't know what you call it. It's
like
sort of like
the
the outline. It's like the outline of the current batch,
yeah,
and then it has like an inner outline again, but this time the Aztec calendar is missing. It's like a whole. It's just like a simplified version of it, or just like the outer rim of it.
mm-hmm,
It doesn't have the face, and then it has like an eagle, but the eagle standing like sideways, so only one wing is sticking out, and then it's standing on the soccer ball. It no longer has like a snake on its beak, and then the other foot's just like hanging in the air.
it's just like floating. Yeah,
It's just floating. That's how you know it's sort of like a template.
mm-hmm,
It's like they just put it like that. Because if they would have drawn it, they would have. Because it creates all this like empty space. It's not doing anything. You don't really know
yeah.
what's going on there. Um, and the original ego, what's he doing with his other leg? He's holding the snake.
Right.
He's holding part of a snake while with his beak is like eating it or killing it or whatever, what have you, um, or petting it. It's just, so yeah, it's bad. It's a really horrible design. I hope it's not. That's not what they're going with.
Yeah, these images, they first circulated again back in September. Um, and I kind of saw this coming. I'm not against getting a new design. I wish like if you're gonna go like the minimalistic route, like there could have just been so many better. Like they could have turned this
Well,
into
you
like a contest and had
what
really,
yeah.
yeah, they could have just had like, hey, look, like because there's so much talent in Mexico. Like I'm sure anybody could have gone on and designed something way better than this.
No, and I agree with you on the minimalistic. Even the current batch, they could have done that,
Mm-hmm.
and they could have been a lot of ways that they could have taken that design and simplified it. But you need a talented artist, man. eh, FMF could easily afford it, but I don't know. I don't know what's up with these dudes, man. It's sort of like they'll just give, like they don't care. They're just like, hey, we'll give this job to like, just give it to someone.
Yeah.
Give it to Officer Doofy. Remember Scream? Sort of like nobody wants to do that task, so they just like hand it to like some intern. It's like, hey, dude, go do a badge.
It's like, this was due yesterday, man. Oh shit. Okay. let, let me go on what was like that one? It was like word art. It was like inside of like Microsoft Office. I feel like that's where they got all their images from. But the only silver lining with this is I am happy about the burgundy coming back. I've been asking for it for a long time. The traditional, because Mexico didn't introduce the green jersey until late. I mean, we're talking like
No,
the 70s, right? Or 60s. Like,
no, late 50s.
yeah.
So we talked about it. Their jersey used to be burgundy with like navy shorts, and I think they played Poland in Brazil 1950 World Cup, and they both had like the red shirt. So, well, I guess Poland red, but they too close to, the colors were too close. So Mexico used the gremio,
Yeah. I remember you telling me
the
that.
gremio
Hmm.
uniform. And so then after that, they're like, let's change it because a lot of teams back then, I guess, had red. So they're like, fuck it, let's just use the flag's colors. and that's when they went to the tricolor, green, white, red. But I just found out that the very first jersey they wore was white and red.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It kind of looks like a.
It looks like like a long
It
sleeve
looks like a
color
ranchero,
shirt.
one of those.
Oh, ranchero! No, it's like a long sleeve shirt
It's not. It's
with
long sleeve.
buttons.
Yeah.
With buttons, it even has the pocket.
Yeah. It looks like a Levi's shirt, man. Like
Well, but I mean, you gotta think this was back like 1920.
20, yeah, in the 20s,
It's not
yeah.
like there was places that like back then, and I think going up until the 50s.
Like everything was made out of like
Uh,
wool and cotton and stuff.
no, no,
Like,
no. You would if soccer teams, whatever. You would order stuff from England
oh,
because England had like places, so you go order soccer balls and whatnot,
mm-hmm.
uniforms. That's even the Juventus. Juventus was pink, and they ordered the uniform, and then they sent them the wrong one, and it was the black and white stripes,
Oh.
and that's how they just kept it. They're like, oh fuck it, this looks better. That's just yeah, and so that was the case in Mex too. If you wanted some tachones, you wanted some spinilleras, all of that stuff, because things 1920 going 1930s. It's not like now you get on Amazon, you just order shit. You had to find specialty stores, and what country was soccer big is like England, when where it started, where they had been playing it for years, where I guess their economy was also so big that people could afford to buy that stuff, or to make a business selling that stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess other stuff you just you sort of made it yourself. Even River Plate, and they talk about how they sort of they would put the slash around the jersey. You know how they have the stripe.
Uh-huh.
And what used to be like an actual one, they would like put safety pins
Oh,
to have it
wow.
around the shirt. Yeah, but yeah, I have the picture. I'm going to put it in the Cantina Facebook page. If you guys don't want to wait, or you're not in it, you could just Google, Primera Camisa Selección Mexico. Probably find it like that. No, but yes, way old, and it's pretty simple, dude. And Jaime, that logo,
Mm-hmm.
because it has a badge that's better than the current badge. Not the current, the one they want to bring.
The one that's yeah. Yeah, I know what
The
you
eagle
mean.
looks like a pollo, but still, dude, it looks like a kick-ass pollo, dude. I would rather put that on.
Yeah. So we're at the hour mark here. Do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap up this episode? Very quickly, let me just go over the matches today. Querétaro beat Monterrey 1-0. Puebla beat Mazatlan 2-0. Atlas and Cruz Azul ended up drawing. And America beat Santos. Tomorrow we have Toluca Necaxa, Tigres Pachuca, León Pumas, and Tijuana versus Chivas.
Doble jornada. I had a closing thought, and it vanished, Jaime. I swear, my memory just debates me.
It'd be like that sometimes. I think for those that are interested in the sport and they're looking for something to watch, I recently started watching this series on Netflix called Bad Sport. The first two episodes, the first one's about a college player that was shaving points. Second one's about this guy that used to smuggle weed and have a race car team. But the third episode is relevant to us. It's about the Juventus scandal that happened in 2005, where they were accused of match fixing, and it talks about all that and how they started investigating and how it all started. So it's a really interesting watch. It's on Netflix. It's called Bad Sports, the episode 3. So definitely check that out, because I remember when that happened and I didn't really understand what happened. I just remember that Juventus got relegated and stripped of their titles, but I wasn't understanding
Yeah,
how they were max fitching, and yeah, it talks about all that.
match fixing, and they It was during the World Cup when they finally sentenced them.
Yeah.
So Italy was about to play the final. There was a lot of Juve players in that
Mm-hmm.
team,
Yep.
and that's when they got relegated and they stripped them of like 5 or maybe more league titles. A bunch of them ended up going to Inter
Yeah. Zlatan
because they were the
was one of
runner-up.
them. Mm-hmm.
Zlatan was at Juve. Dude, they had a really good team.
Stacked.
Uh,
Del Piero
and
and yeah.
that's why it surprised me because it's like, do they even, you know? And sometimes I guess with match fix, it's not always losing. It could be like winning by X amount of goals, you know, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, Edgar Davids. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Of course.
He wear those little glasses. Yeah, Edgar Davids. They had Zlatan. They had
Paul Nedved.
Vieira. Vieira, that dude came from Arsenal.
Yep.
Nedved was my favorite dude. He just really complete midfielder. I got sad when he missed the final for the Champions League because he got carded and it was on card accumulation. He got carded in the semis and then he would miss the final.
Damn.
Uh, yeah, and Buffon, but yeah, that team was stacked.
Yeah, he won the Player of the Year, right? Balón de Oro.
I don't remember. It's just so far back. You're
Yeah,
going
he
too
won
far back,
the
Jaime. I'm like Biden. That was what 2-3 years ago.
2003.
Why you bringing old shit?
He won the
Yeah,
Balón de
2003
Oro.
shit, man. That's like what I don't know how to count.
18 years ago.
Yeah, see, that memory is almost it's old enough to vote.
Yeah.
Buy cigarettes. Um,
For sure. Well, definitely thank everyone for their ongoing support. Uh, really cool thing on Spotify. I don't know if you guys use Spotify to listen to our podcast, but we've been throwing some polls and some questions out there. So if there's anything on the podcast that you want us to discuss or something that you want to comment on, you can actually go on Spotify and respond and vote. It's actually really cool. It's a new feature that that got unveiled last week. So check that out. We'll be back next week to cover Liga MX and of course all the chismes that go on in between. Uh, double jornada, so the table could drastically change between today and Monday. So we'll see if Chivas can continue their streak. They have Tijuana on the road, and then they have Cruz Azul on Saturday. So we'll see how it goes for them. They're trying to squeeze into Liguilla, and we'll see if America can withhold this substantial lead they have between the rest of the league now.
as you said, Atlas was playing right now, right? They were playing Cruz Azul,
They ended up drawing, so that leaves Atlas with 23 points, and it's
and
now
Ame said what?
31.
Wait, America said 31.
Yeah, so we're looking at an 8-point gap between first and second now.
Yeah, it's almost. You would have to win almost like 3 games in a row. I could see them. I could see them holding on to it. Jaime.
Yeah, considering the
Yeah,
fact that
I think Jaime finishes it.
there's only 3 games left for them, so another win for
Yeah,
them, and
that's it there.
they secure first place.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah, I mean, as for the rest
Yeah.
of the
Oh,
pack, it's pretty tight.
yeah. Well, my not closing thoughts, but uh, yeah, hit us up with a like or a sub if you haven't subscribed.
Definitely, and make sure to check us on Twitter. We be doing memes all day. Some videos, some photos. It's pretty funny. There was like a video of this girl who was like dancing with all her friends, but she was crying at the same time. You know, she was like holding back these tears, but she she was trying to like be happy, and yeah, that was basically like all the Chivas fans happy that the national duty was over and we're back to club soccer. But Chivas ended up winning.
And ironically, they won.
Yeah, ironically they
It
won.
backfired, Jaime.
So maybe I got to keep it doing. I will say the poll for episode 306, I asked everybody, does pineapple belong on pizza? And sadly, 67% of the audience said yes.
I like pineapple in pizza,
Oh
Jaime.
my God,
I
pineapple
didn't get to vote too.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, but I do believe that it belongs on al pastor. Gives it that nice taste. But
Well, they do have those pineapple rings, right?
yeah, on top.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. They just never make their way into my taco.
Yeah, very rarely you'll see bits of pineapple in your al pastor taco, but it should. I've been to places where they actually do throw in a little bit of bits in there, and it enhances the flavor so much.
Oh man, what's going on? They're probably like, "Fuck, dude, we don't want to be paying more money." Like it's gonna cut into our profits. We put a bunch of fucking pineapples. These fuckers not want more shit on the taco.
But I don't know what the pineapple does. Like I went to a steakhouse, Brazilian steakhouse. If you ever had that experience where they give you a bunch of meats, and then after like a few, they're like, here you go, here's some pineapple to kind of cleanse your palate, and it really does, man. And you're like, oh wow, like I can go back to getting some more meat. But that was a nice little little break there. But yeah. Something about pineapple, man. I understand why people put it on pizza, but I'm not a fan.
You just think it goes with cheese and tomato.
Yeah.
Like listening to that, it doesn't sound good, but it does taste good.
All right, and with that, guys, we're signing out. Thank you guys so much. Catch us next week, and follow us on Twitter.